Hello, football enthusiasts, and welcome to the introductory episode of MyOgba Football Fantasy. And today we will be talking about the UEFA Champions League. I will not be doing this alone. I am your presenter. My name is Ibishala Basa. To my left, I have Mr. Wasil.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wasa, and good to be here.
Lovely to have you. And to my right, I have another football enthusiast who has earned the right to talk about the game that he loves. Mr. Bassett. Well, thank you. The UEFA Champions League. We have very interesting ties coming up. Aston Villa, who will be traveling all the way to face Info PSG at the Parc de France.
Another interesting one.
Another interesting tie. Barcelona will be hosting Borussia Dortmund, which is promising to be an interesting tie. 3 of the top 5 goal scorers in the UEFA Champions League are from these two teams. The person of Robert Lewandowski.
We are here.
This is going to be an interesting time. What do you have to say around the same way? What should we be expecting? What do you think they be expecting?
All right. Thank you very much. One thing I would say we are guaranteed in this particular tie is that it's going to be of quite a number of goals because both teams has very formidable attacking players, and in Rafinha and Lewandowski, Barcelona has these players that knows how to box opponents, and based on what their attackers has done this season with Lamine Yamal, who is actually doing well for his age, you can say Barcelona as a team, it's been a while they've been in this kind of form. They're actually doing well, even with the injury of their top goalkeeper, and Zezne has actually stepped up and is actually doing well. So they have very good things. They have good players in midfield in every part of the field. They are actually doing well. Presently, they are doing well. They are top of the league, and also in the Champions League as well. As a team, they are doing well. In fact, their coach has actually made them as a team to play together. This is something we've not witnessed in a while with Barcelona team. Barcelona is known for playing very, very silky football. And in recent times, and with what they've actually done and achieved this season, I feel they have enough firepower to actually get ahead of Dortmund over the two went. And not to forget, presently Dortmund in Bundesliga, they've not been really having two good seasons, and in fact, they've not even been consistent at the team. However, they have very potent spikers. You just mentioned Devasi, who is Devon has died on there, and also part of the ISO. We can't certainly rule out the threat of such players with that number of goals, even if the team is not actually doing well in their league. But quarterfinal of the Champions League, you just 2 games away from getting to the semi-final. So Barcelona as a team, they shouldn't be complacent about maybe trying to look down on Dortmund as a team. However, for over the 2 legs, I expect Barcelona to actually, they shouldn't have a problem of Pedro of edge getting ahead of Dortmund.
Earlier this season in the UEFA Champions League, Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona have caught in the qualifying stage. With Borussia Dortmund coming close to punishing the Giants from Spain. Do you reckon, since this is going to be a two-legged tie, they may come just as close or give Barcelona as much trouble as they give them when they met at the qualifying stages?
Yeah, I think they're going to give them trouble. They're going to cause trouble, but Barcelona already knows they've played them, so they already know the threat. And talking about form, like you said, Rafinha, Del, and I think Barcelona has a mixture of experienced and energetic players, young players, energetic players. Look how
They're normal players. Yes, no, I know. The mix with, I'm talking about Lewandowski, Chelsea, Martinez, Martinez, and Rafinha also. They are experienced players, and what they are bringing down. We know Barcelona has a tiki-taka style of play, but now it's tiki-taka with mixed with counter attacking football. So, and I give it to Hansi Flick. I know I'm a big fan of Hansi Flick. He's obsessed with attacking football. He's not You scoring 4 5 goals is not enough for him. He wants you to score more. He wants you to win until the final whistle. That's when he rests. So I think they already know the threat of Borussia Dortmund with Guirassy. Then you have the quality of Sabitzer in midfield. He has a wonderful technique. Sabitzer he's injured. Wow. So no, I think Barcelona he should be an easy win for Barcelona. I need to cause them trouble, but Man United. Wow, wow, wow. Kofi players are injured. Hey, Barcelona know to play a highline study feedback that chokes their defense or their opponents in their own words. Ready attack. But oftentimes, certain people do deliver against them to counter attack. However, they have not conceded as many goals as you would have expected. Now, would you, as a coach, if you were to coach Borussia Dortmund, how would you approach his as a clicks? Similarly, playable highlight.
Oh, wow. Looking at the tactics that has been deployed by Hansi Flick over the course of the season, to get a result against this formidable Barcelona team, all the Dortmund players must actually have an day game in the sense that across the field, everyone must be up and doing because this is a team whereby they have very potent players that can hurt you and um what's it called? Just an error from the player, you would actually get punished. Look at what Yamal has been doing. Look at Rafinha. In fact, last season, Rafinha, over the course of the summer, he almost left that team. And look at what he has done so far. And he's just a renewed player that is actually having fun playing the game that he loves. And I feel Dortmund as a team, with the standard chances against Barcelona, they have to be compact. And of course, they probably would have limited chances and we should just take that chances here. It's actually
All right, now let's talk about football fall. Barcelona as a team are the only top team in Europe's top 5 league to have not lost a game in 2025. However, on the other hand, Borussia Dortmund has lost 2 of their last 5, drawn 1, only won 2. Champions League is a big stage. Do you think these numbers matter?
Yes, it matters. Then record matters, history matters, and you check their record. I think Barcelona they played 4 or 6 times. Barcelona has won more, 4. I think they already had a draw also.
Dortmund has about just 3 wins.
10 wins over Barcelona. And talking about as a flick with the style of football, mixing tiki taka, spicing up with counter attack, and talking about Rafinha, Yamal. Yamal can change the game within a minute, within split seconds. He can change the game. So, and they already played Dortmund. They know what Dortmund can do. So I think they'll be aware of that. And like you said, they're not conceding too many goals, and they are scoring. Well, I'm not talking about Robert Lewandowski. These guys can change the game in just a minute or 2 minutes. So, and they know what Dortmund can do. So I think Barcelona knows, yeah, so Flick already knows his game plan. And with the firm Barcelona are in, I think he should be an easy one for them. They've had the easiest fixtures, actually.
The Champions League, yes. And we have been talking about Hansi Flick, but we are not talking about Niko Kovac. That is the coach of the Then, what could you say he is doing for tactical?
I mean, we know certain coaches play certain style of football. On another level, it's precision football. Certain players like Deschamps likes to play fast counters, sometimes sits back and carry. We're talking about Hansi Flick with his high line. How would you say Borussia Dortmund have been playing? What would you say that style of football is? And you think your style of football can help them edge over a team like Barcelona, right? Oh, wow. Aside the style of football, I feel as a team, having the right mentality is equally important as this stage of the competition. Because in the long run, we've seen in the past where a quote and unquote a small team playing against the top one, and before you know it, the players would feel intimidated with the caliber or the quality of players in the opponent's lineup. However, at this stage of the competition, I feel as a coach, there's no need for the players to panic. They've gotten to this stage based on how best they can play their football. Their form in the league might not be actually impressive, but still, I don't expect him to change much of his tactics because he's playing Barcelona. He should return his tactics, and as a coach, he should instill the right mentality in his players. And if they could get to this the stage, why not? It's very possible. We've seen in the past they can as well. If everyone is actually on their best performance, they can get the right result.
All right. In the meteor, Barcelona boosts of players like I do not think Olmo will be available. But no, you won't know where it was like Frankie Dino, the John, yeah, Pedro below to the game changers. Pedro's been at the form of this life. Yeah, so as you say, I can say, Barcelona would have to rely heavily on midfield players approach to their fastest attacking football now at the play with Rafinha to let me know something.
I don't think they'll really rely on the midfield, but yes, you can't. The quality of Pedri, then with Frankie De Jong knows how to hold the ball. You can hold the ball. You can move past 2, 3 players easily, and yes, and you have Pedri that can go inside your defense, like break your defense line easily, and definitely they'll always still use their wings. So they coming to the midfield, they are comfortable with it. So I think they shouldn't have a problem. The midfield passing should be easier with Sabisa even injured. So it should be easy. But I think they're saying yes, yes, but I think they'll still use Yamal and Rafinha. And definitely they're starters. So you say he came with us after 90 minutes. So you keep it to how many goals? By how many? What's playing? Well, maybe 4-1 to Barcelona.
It should be easy. Like you give about 4 to Real Madrid will be a 3. 3 is yeah. Yeah. Mr. Smith. What? That's why you give me to Casina. I don't. Let's say that's why would get the build as well. It's about a 3-1 is predict a 3-1. All right, now let's go forward to more audacious bold takes. Who? What team do you, sir, Mr. Basix, think will go all the way for this season's UEFA Champions League? First, you go that. What do you think the final teams will be?
I'm thinking Real Madrid, Barcelona.
Oh, you think it's going to be a Basico final?
Most likely, yes.
All right. And you would give the win in that tie to
And Real Madrid.
Because Barcelona has hot dome 3 times this season, yeah? Or 3 times. I think so. I think 3 or 2 or so, yeah. So I think, and Real Madrid is the champions in the final, especially in the Champions League. And 2 times, yes. So the Real Madrid is in the Champions League, and it's a final for a different breed. Oh, that's right. I'm giving it to Real Madrid.
I think question. So I see. Oh wow. I would predict 2006 final, which is Barcelona against Marseille. So you're giving Arsenal the edge over Real Madrid, and that goes without saying.
You believe in Arsenal?
We are seeing Arsenal
Take on the Spanish giants in the final. Do you think Arsenal have what it takes to go to rivalry to win the first FA?
Well, at this stage, it's still ready, but for me to answer the question, to get into the Champions League final, as with the weakness in the past, it is just by 80 details. So, if they could get to the final, why not shot it? And even looking at the last time that Arsenal lost, it was just by a little book. So, if they could get to the final at this point in time, and if you have to look at what Arsenal has done in the past 5 years, most people might say probably they actually not and young trophies to back up and the number of years that Arteta has been at the team. However, and having this level of consistency, it takes the whole lot, and we shouldn't rule out what the team has achieved because over the course towards the tail end of Marcelenga's season, I don't think Arsenal has ever had this level of consistency, competing for the league, and also playing very, very fantastic football as well. So you never can tell. This could just be their season. And I think I learned that first from this space. All right, let's talk about a few unbelievable or similarly unbelievable statistics in the UEFA Champions League. Oh, however, let us talk about the teams that have never won the Champions League. The I don't know remember if as Borussia Dortmund never lifted the trophy. Yeah, they are. So we have just PSG and Inter are the only teams that have not lifted the UEFA Champions League.
Do you think this season could go to either neighbor? It's football. It can, but anything can have results. It's about it.
Guess the percentage checks.
I'll give them 10%.
10%.
Yes.
Because I'm about so I'm someone's in
Yeah, because I'm someone who relies on history of football, which matters on the big stage. Like I said about Aston Villa, you can't just write them off. They won 2 Champions League. When you play, the opponents coming knows the history. They know these people have won, and PSG too, like we said, they have no young players. So I think
PSG not know the history of Liverpool when they send them west. Like I know they know, but it's at least they went to it was a penalty shootout. It's not as if they burst or they're only unfair.
Yeah, I know, but you can't still write history off. So that's why to give PSG or Arsenal to win the Champions League is a slim chance for me personally. So I'll still go with the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona.
History is the reason you're giving Real Madrid
Your predicted Clasico final. Yeah. Jerry.
About what you just said.
Yes, about history mantling and Big E. So
Well, for next times, I wouldn't want to agree with him because when we talk about history, we look at different circumstances, different players, different atmosphere, and different competition. Looking at what PSG is actually doing across this season, for the fact that just few years ago they tried to the final, of course, they don't have any business with the league. It's just a matter of time before they win the league. So which means they rely solely on this particular competition, which would be having one over their other um, challengers, because for the other teams, they are still very much in the league or probably trying to qualify for next season's Champions League. So for the fact that they only have the Champions League to rely upon, then they would give it their all and probably looking at the possibility of having the competition that has actually a everyday game, and the same applies to Arsenal as well. Well, everyone needs to in the competition stand a chance, and I just say by statistics and probability is just about 2/8, and little details matters at this stage of the competition. And not to forget, at a point, everyone thought probably Liverpool is not going to even lose this season because I think their first 7 days they won, and even the one that they lost, they are already done with the receipt of the official at that stage. And look at what happened. Joy the land of 16 and he will just out. So thing about us wanting to agree that this three matters. Of course, football is still football and for different reasons and for different circumstances. You don't expect what happened in the parts based on it's just little details at the end of the day.
all right, another interesting statistics for the UEFA Champions League this season. Barcelona has the least yellow card considered with 10, in contrast to the highest. I think Real Madrid get about 32 or 30 something. So would you say Barcelona's Highland tactics has a lot to do with them considering so little yellow card? Yes, I think it does. And they have high press, so they recover the ball so fast. While you're with the ball, they crowd you, they collect the ball, then they have more of the ball. So I think yes. So what would you say? Football, is it about taking your chances or creating them?
I feel taking your chances is very, very important. Because when we say a team has taken the number of shots, primarily we would expect them to have the most goal. But that's not always the case.
Yeah, I think that will be all for today. Football, yeah, football enthusiasts. This is MyOgba Football Fantasy, and we will be having more. Please join us and follow us on all our social media platforms, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.